Hi friends, it's Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scudig or St. Croix River, the traditional territory of the Passamaquoddy, and I'm grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I have a quick birthday card for you that can be used for any gender. It's very colorful and it uses some beautiful paper that is on sale right now for 15% off. And I also have some other stamping news, including a BOGO that is coming right up that I'm going to be doing. So let's get right to that and we'll get to our project as well. The project's going to be using some interesting coloring techniques. So I'm going to just show you that now. All right, so we've got some different things arranged here and we're going to be using watercolor pencils. I'm going to be using assortment number 2. We're going to be using blender pens, and we're going to be using this Beach Day stamp set, as well as the accompanying dies. Look how cool they are. Look at all the different things you can do. And we're going to be making this particular colorful card, which is actually really quick to make and not very hard to make either. So we're going to get right to that. But first, I wanted to tell you a little bit of stamping news. This is my only Facebook Live for August, and normally I do a number of Facebook Lives every month. I'll do them on Thursday mornings in Atlantic time at 11:30 a.m. Atlantic, and then post them up here on my page. But because of vacation schedules and the fact that we're at our cottage a lot where I only have rural internet, I unfortunately can't do them the rest of the month, but I did want to bring you up to speed today. So here is what we have coming up. As you can see, I'm excited about this. I have a BOGO coming up August 21st to 28th. And I've put on here, join my BOGO group today. And there's a link right in this very post if you want to look at that. If you can't find it, just let me know and I'll send you the link. The BOGO will start at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's 10 a.m. Atlantic. And you can convert that to other time zones too. Anyone in Canada can join. You don't have to be one of my customers to join and shop at the BOGO. And for any amount of product that you buy through me from the Stampin' Up! Website, you can select an equivalent amount of product from my retired stash. And it's all right there in my Facebook group that you need to join, my BOGO group. So do join, and I'd love to see you on Wednesday of next week, the 21st of August at 9 a.m. Eastern. It'll be a great time, I'm sure. Another thing that I have available right now is holiday product shares. So you can choose from paper, ribbon, or embellishments, or buy all three. I do have a deal where I give you a free gift if you choose more than one of the shares. And I've also got a few samples to show you. So these shares are of products from the brand new holiday catalog. So here is one of the sets of embellishments. It's called Earth Tones Shimmer Gems. Here's one that would fit into the ribbon share. And this is called Natural Tones Linen Thread. So that's really pretty as well. Nice colors for fall as well as for winter and Christmas, holidays, etc. And then I also have this one, which is Nests of Winter Designer Series paper. And this is one of the new papers, and it's one of my favorites. I'll just show you one of the patterns. How beautiful is that? It's so pretty. I love this. It's got cardinals, it's got all kinds of other birds, chickadees, everything. And then on the back side, you've got this other lovely pattern as well. And then there's many more patterns that are available. So do have a look at my holiday product shares. Again, there's a link right in this very post. You can just click on that and it'll take you to my website where I have all the information there about how much they cost. And it's a great way to get a sampling of many products from the new holiday catalog without breaking the bank, because you just get a few papers of every sort that they're coming out with. You get a few feet of the ribbon and you get a half pack of each embellishment. So it's really a nice way to do it on a budget. Also, I have some classes coming up, some online classes, and we're going to be using that paper I just showed you, which actually coordinates with this stamp set, the Winterly Treetops, and there's dies as well. This is another bundle and suite, in fact, that comes from the holiday catalog, and I'm really excited to be working with this. If you want to check out my classes, there is a link right here in this post, and you can have a look there and see what you might like to do as well. My online classes are open to anyone across Canada. As long as you have a Canadian address, you can participate, and I would be happy to get to know you through my classes. All right, so this is our card that we're going to be doing today with the Beach Day stamp set and dies. And I really had fun when I designed this because I love this big pop of color, and I think that the white and the black really set it off nicely. So you don't just get this cacophony of color, but you get these pops of color that actually end up looking fairly elegant with the black and white as the background. I really like working with black and white and colors together. So let's get right to this, and I'm going to start by stamping. Actually, we'll do a little die cutting as well. So I've got a piece of basic white cardstock here, and we're going to use these dies. These are my favorite dies. I use them probably on at least half my projects year-round. They are called the Stylish Shapes dies, and I just find they're so useful because you have these nested squares or diamonds, you have nested labels, and you have the nested circles. So you can combine them together or you can use them separately. And today we're just going to use them separately, but it is fun to combine them for different color combinations as well. So let's get our label out. We're going to use this one here. I'm going to grab my little mini machine and we will do our die cutting here. So let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to grab my little plates. So this is the mini machine. If you don't have a mini machine, it's very, very simple to use. Great to take to the cottage or on vacation, to a crop, etc. And it's quite a bit cheaper than the standard size machine, and it does fit a lot of the dies as well. So you can see mine's been used very much, and I really like using it. So here's what we need to do. The instructions are all on the plate. So you need one plate number 1, 2 plates number 2, and sandwich your die and your paper between them. So I'm going to put plate number 1, plate number 2. Then we're going to get our die. Here it is. And we're going to sandwich that between our papers. So I'm just going to put that through here. So here it comes. Very simple technology, no plugging in of anything. I like that because I understand it. It's just rollers that make the pressure on the dies and then cut it for you. And then it's very simple to remove. And there you go, there's our label. So we've got that. And we might as well do our circle that we need for our card as well while we're here. So I'll just show you that on the card so you can see where we're going. So there's the circle. We're going to use basic black cardstock for that. So I've just cut myself a square here. Oh, and I should tell you too that when you make a purchase on the Stampin' Up! Website through me in August, and that counts also during the BOGO that's starting next week. If your purchase is $60 or more before tax and shipping, then I will send you a class by mail that will include this card, so all the paper pieces for this card and for 2 others as well. So if you click through on the Learn More link that you'll see right in this post today, it will take you to the instructions for this card and all the supplies I used. And also there will be links to a couple of more cards also made with the Beach Day stamp set and dies. And those are the other 2 cards that will be included in the free class that I send out. So that's another way to get more for your money. I know a lot of us are feeling the pinch. It's been a rough few years with COVID and so forth. And it's really great that we can kind of double up some of the savings from time to time. So there's my circle. There is my label. We will be doing a little die cutting later, but for now, let's do our stamping. So we're going to stamp our sentiment. It's in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. You could use any color because as you can see with this particular paper, you can actually use any color that you like. So it's all going to match, so it doesn't matter. So there's the Tuxedo Black. So we're going to open that up and we're going to dip into the Beach Day set. And I felt like using this Beach Day set this week because I've been spending some time at my parents' house and in the community where I grew up, which is right by a number of beaches, rocky coves. There's sandy beaches, a kilometer-long sand beach that I walked the length of yesterday with my daughter, and we just had a very nice time rock climbing on the other end and just enjoying the sand and the surf. So, so I really like this beach day set. It's just right for this time of year, and certainly for the place that I've been the last few days. So maybe if you're watching today, you can tell me where you're watching from, and when you go to the beach, what do you like to do? I like to go beach combing, look for shells. I like to walk along the beach, so I love a really long beach. One of my favorite beaches is actually Wasaga Beach in Ontario as well. I really, really like that one. And locally, New River Beach, which is where I grew up. And there's lots more really beautiful beaches. I like the one in Tofino and Ucluelet. I like those beaches there. You can walk and walk and walk. And I like looking for the sea creatures as well. There's so many nice things to do at the beach. So let me know what you like to do at the beach. That would be great to share kind of ideas, what we can do there. Oh yeah, I look for sea glass or beach glass. It's not sea glass, I guess, if it's in a lake. So lots of the Great Lakes have really good amounts of beach glass too. And there we go. So that's stamped really well. So just a tip with this Tuxedo Black Memento. Some people find that it stamps kind of gray instead of black. And as you saw when I was stamping here, I really coated my stamp in the black. Like I didn't just tap it once or twice, but I tapped it many, many times until it was really good and covered. And so that's a key. And also I have a refill. So you can buy little bottles of refill ink. And I just squirted a little bit of refill over the whole ink pad a while ago, and I'll just continue to do that from time to time, just adding a little extra ink so that you can get that nice black image that you're looking for. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is stamp our little surfboards. So let me get out my surfboard here. This would be great. So here's my surfboard. All right, so we're going to stamp them in Tuxedo Black as well. I'm going to do 3, just like on my sample over here. So let's just coat that up really good. Again, like I said, it really needs a good tapping there. And we'll see how we did. And of course, if you don't like your image, a great way to get a better one is just to flip over your paper and do it again. But that one came out really well. So you can see tapping several times in combination with having the extra little bit of ink on the top of the ink pad really works well. Okay, so then I press it down for several seconds just to give it lots of time. Okay. All right, here we go. And we'll do one more, and then we get to color, so that'll be fun. These cards were actually from an online class that I did last week called Beach Day. And what I was doing is demonstrating how to use the watercolor pencils in combination with the blender pens. So it's something that might be new to many people, and I think it makes a really interesting effect. Look at that lovely color you get there. So I'm going to show you how to do that just now. I'm going to move my stamp set out of the way here. And let's get going with our watercolor pencils. So you could choose any color to go with this paper, really. But what I did was I went with this one, which is Flirty Flamingo. I went with a light green, which in this case is Granny Apple Green. And I went with kind of a turquoise, which is, I don't know if it'll focus here, Coastal Cabana. So I've got those 3 colors, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, and Coastal Cabana. But you could use anything that you like. These are the watercolor pencils assortment number 2. So you can see they have all these colors, and they're all marked right on the shaft of the pencil, so you know what color it is. The only caution, I guess, I'd give with these watercolor pencils is I find that a lot of the time the colors in them don't really match exactly the ink pad's of the same name or the cardstock of the same name. So you might have to kind of try them out on a scrap paper. I think it's hard to translate pencils into paper and like pencil colors into paper or ink colors that are wet inks. So that's just something to be aware of, that they may not really color exactly like you think they will. So it's good to try them out and just see. So you can see I'm just coloring super fast here. I'm not taking great care, just trying to stay inside the lines, and that's about it. And you will see why once we get into our blender pens. So if you were going to use just color pencils to do this, I would take a lot more care, and I'd try not to have many lines or any white space or anything like that. But with the blender pens, they kind of act almost like an alcohol marker in that they smooth out your color. And so you won't really see all those bit of gradations there, but it will kind of give it a watercolor effect when you're done, which is a really, really nice look, I think. And it's super easy and fast to do, so I like that too. You don't have to be an expert coloring person, and it really isn't necessary. You can just do this. Anyone can do this. So here's the blender pens with their special solutions. And these are great little things. So they have identical tips on either end. They come in a pack of 3 and you get 6 essentially, because each one has 2 tips. So what I try to do is just keep them each for a color family. So if you can see that, it's pink. So I'm going to use this always for pinks and reds. So you can see I'm just brushing it really quickly over my colored area there. It's changing the color slightly, and it's kind of melding it together so that it's all nice and smooth. And it fills in all that white space, and it looks very pretty. And then you just scribble it off on your scrap afterwards, and it basically takes out that ink again. So it will leave a little bit of a tip of the color you've been using, but you can see the ink is gone there. That's just a little bit of staining that results. So have a look at how cool that looks. Like, that is really, really nice, right? And that was a super quick job. I didn't take any amount of time to do that. So the next one I want to use is green. Now, is this green or is it yellow? I think it's green, but let me just check another one. No, I think it's yellow. So this one, that's a green one. So I'm just going to very quickly brush across it. So you don't want to keep coloring on the same area over and over again. That might pill up the paper eventually. But I'm just taking quick and long and light strokes. So I'm using a light hand with this, and then just kind of filling in any places that are a little bit on the white side. And look how nice that is. So here's this one. You can see a lot of gradations in that. So let's see what we can do with it. Let me see. I think I used this blue one before. So let's use the blue one here again. So let's just brush across with these brush tips. That's an easy thing to do. And it just fills it in so well and takes away some of that extra ink that is in the wrong place, or extra pencil that's in the wrong place, and fills in the places that didn't have enough. So there, we'll just scribble that off. Now look at that. How nice is that? So it gives it a really smooth appearance, but yet a watercolor finish. So I really like that. So again, these are the blender pens. If you click through to learn more in my post here in my video, you will be able to see the supply list for that. They're not expensive, and you do get, essentially, you get 3 shafts, but you get 6 brush tips. So it's like having 6 markers in the size of 3, which is really, really nice. Okay, so let's do a little more die cutting here. We've got to die cut these. Now, if you don't have the dies for these, you could cut them out with scissors, but since I have the dies, I'm just going to do it because it's really quick, and it's kind of more precise that way too. So I'm just going to cut them apart so I can do them one by one. It's much easier than trying to do one at a time on that big long scrap that I had there. Okay, so we're going to put our machine here. Here's one of them. And here's the dies. I love these dies. They do so many different things. So there's all kinds of options of what you can cut out. You can cut out even palm trees, and I'll show you a card a little bit later that has that right in it. So we can just place this die over, and feel free to use washi tape or another kind of low tack tape to keep it in place for you if you need it. I often find they'll stay where I put them if I hold them down like this, just till the rollers catch them, but feel free to use the washi. It really depends on the die and what shape your plates are in and stuff. So, and how comfortable you are with trying to put them through as they are, but I think it did a pretty good job. All right, so that's one. Let's do another one. Here's another one. And we'll push that one through next. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So this is the Granny Apple Green, which looks more like Lemon Lime Twist if you're familiar with the colors that Stampin' Up! Has. So again, just make sure you realize that the colors of the colored pencils may not turn out exactly the same as cardstocks and inks of the same name. So it's worth just trying them out so you're sure what you're going to get. There you go, there's that one. And we're going to do one more, and that's our Flirty Flamingo, which looks more like a pink to me than a Flirty Flamingo here, but it works really well on our card because we have multicolored paper and it's got all kinds of different shades in it. And I will be showing you that multicolored paper when we put the card together. I'll show you a few more of the patterns because it is on sale right now, along with many other pattern papers for 15% off just for the month of August. And it's while supplies last, so you can't get a rain check. So it's best to get it now if you know you want a particular paper before it is low inventory or sold out. Okay, so that's our die cut machine. So we'll put that over there and let it take a break. And we're going to put together our card now. So I think the first thing we'll do is just put together this piece for the middle. Okay, so we can just kind of figure out where we want that to go. So I'm just going to put this in my grid. I like this grid paper, which you can get from Stampin' Up. They sell it in packs of 100. And I use it at home for myself and for all my classes because you can kind of line things up there as well as having a scrap underneath for doing stuff like I did, scribbling, or you can see here I blended on some of this paper, so that helps as well. Okay, so I think I'll use my Stampin' Seal. So here's the Stampin' Seal. And I'll just put Stampin' Seal kind of in the middle of this because we won't need the glue all the way to the edges because it'll go off the edges for us. So let's see if we can get this on nicely. That looks pretty good right there. So we'll press that down and I'll try to line that up so we get this straight. So I'm going to line up my label along, maybe along this major line right here. That should do it. And now we're going to put on our little surfboards. So let's do the middle one first, and then we can arrange the outside ones after that. I haven't actually been surfing. Has anybody watching been surfing? Maybe if you're familiar with Tofino or Ucluelet on the West Coast, you might have tried it. There's not great places to do that around here. It's more kayaking in this area, I'd say. So let me see, we'll just put that on kind of like that. And then we'll put on one on the left and one on the right. So maybe I'll just sticker these up right now. And we'll get that on there. Okay. So let's do the pink one first. Flirty Flamingo. All right. Maybe kind of like that. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of overlapping it across the top of that sentiment just to give a little unity to the whole thing so that everything's attached rather than kind of orphaned off on the side somewhere. And we'll put this one on next. And I think that's about right. Straight enough. So there you go. So there's our little centerpiece. And now we can put together the rest of our card. So I started out with a card base. This is basic black cardstock. And I like the Stampin' Up! Cardstock because it's heavy enough to be a card base. Sometimes you get other kinds of cardstock that are kind of cheaper, and they're not really heavy enough for a card base, but this always is. We're going to put our little writing panel inside, so you can use a regular pen to write on the card, or you could use one of those special metallic pens or pastel pens that you can get that will write on black, but they're not always easy to read, and sometimes they come off on the other side of the card, so I kind of prefer this. You could decorate that up if you like, but I like to write notes in my cards, so I never decorate the inside because I don't want to take up the space, but that's up to you. And then next what we're going to do is we're going to add our fancy paper here. Now this Sunburst, I really like this. I think it really sets off this card. The other side is very pretty too, and you can see that would also work for you, no problem. And this actually comes from a set of papers. Let me just see. It is called Full of Life, and it comes in 6x6, and it's all double-sided. I just want to show you a few of the patterns, and again, it's one of the papers on sale for 15% off through the end of this month only. So you can see it's very colorful. Some of it is all the colors. Some of it is just certain colors, like this one's kind of blues up to pinks and purples. This one's more green. And you can see there's all kinds of different gradations and different ways of putting the colors together. It's really beautiful paper anyway. So really nice. Lots of possibilities, especially in the summertime. I think it's a really nice one. And I'm just going to put this paper on our white panel so it will form like a frame there for us. And let's see if we can get that centered there. I think that'll work. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to use dimensionals to put that and just kind of pop it up and give it a little bit of depth on the front of the card. So here we go. All right. I love these little dimensionals. You can get mini ones as well. Let me see. I'll show you the minis by comparison so you can see. They all come in packs that are $6, so they're really reasonable. I like them because I haven't had them dry out or just disappoint me like some of the other adhesives I used to work with. I used to buy cheap ones, not realizing that, well, you get what you pay for. But even these are not expensive. They're just $6. So you can see there's how big the standard ones are. You get 300 in a pack. And there's the minis. You get 720 of them. So if you're willing to use the minis, they stick just as well as the big ones, and you could probably get more bang for your buck out of those. Okay, so here's our card. Whoops, it opens. It's all good. And let's add our centerpiece. And I just put mine right in the middle. You could put it up higher, lower, wherever you'd like it. And I'm just going to add 3 dimensionals on the back. I think that should keep it very secure. You can always add more if you wish. Everybody kind of has a different strategy about what kind of adhesives they prefer and how much of it they use. So just do what works for you is what I'd say. I like that about the whole paper crafting industry and hobby. You can decide what works for you. And nobody can say that that's no good because, well, if it works for you, this is a creative outlet. Go for it. That's what I think. So there's that. And you can see I have little embellishments on there. And the embellishments I used for this are called adhesive back dots for days. And I really like those. I think they're so cute. So we're going to get those out. And I used one that was Flirty Flamingo, kind of up in this yellow quadrant here. And then I used one that was Pool Party, kind of down over here. And then I used one yellow, I think it's Daffodil Delight, down here. And I'll just put that one in. And that's our whole card. So it's really a simple card. It's pretty quick to make. Very colorful, good for any gender. I love that about it. And it doesn't matter if you actually surf. I think anybody would think this was a really fun card. So thanks very much for joining me today. Please do check out my links about upcoming classes, my product shares that are up, and also especially my BOGO. You don't want to miss out on that. Oh, and I should show you my other cards too. So if you place an order of $60 or more with me before tax and shipping from Stampin' Up's website in August, you will get 3 packs of cards, or 3 card packs to make. So you'll get a packet to make this particular card, one of these. You'll get a packet to make this particular card as well. And this one is patterned after a card, actually it's pretty close to a card made by Carrie Ritchie, who is a demonstrator in the US. And I really liked her card, so I just modified it a bit to suit myself. So you'll get the instructions to make this, including how to do this cool waves breaking on the shore effect. And you will get also the paper materials to make this card. So you can make one of each with this free class that I'll send you with that order of 60 or more. And this one, I love this effect because it actually looks like a vintage postcard. And I've layered together some different decorative papers as well, and you'll find out how to make that one as well. So thanks again for joining me today. And I hope that I'll see you at my BOGO. And if not, next time I'm going to do a video online will be in September. And then it will be every week starting in September again with my regular schedule. Feel free to follow me on my page so that you will see what's coming up. And I will see you then. Bye for now and have a great summer.